Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
All right. Yeah, Ed in here, David, Nate. Okay. Gonna wait just a little bit, see if the other folks can join in here. Um, you guys having a great day so far today?
I am.
Awesome. Been digesting any information from yesterday and any upfront questions that you wanted to make sure we covered today? None? Or just freestyling today? Cool. Sounds good. Oh no, David. David, you're in here twice.
Yo. I'm not
All
sure
right.
why it reassigned it sent me back in after it looked like it disconnected.
Yeah. I had to readmit it looks like you're in here twice. Um, so
Do you have my video feed?
I don't.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, was trying to turn on the video feed, but it doesn't seem to. Okay, let me try this again. Start video. I'm gonna hit that button.
All right.
There we go.
There we go, David. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
All right. And Harlan's on in here.
I'm just on my phone, so
That's fine. That's fine. All righty, guys. Thanks for coming on back for day two of the DSCR loan broker boot camp. I'm excited to get through some more content today, and then by the end of this thing, I feel like you guys will have a great idea as to how to be able to take the next steps for your own business. So identify some opportunities for yourself, and then we'll talk about some other options for you guys moving forward.
Hey,
But
Gary,
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no
Did
worries.
you say these two days were going to be recorded?
Yes, they are being recorded, and we're going to upload them into the Burlone Basics school group for
Great.
everyone that came to the boot camp or signed up for the boot camp. It'll be unlocked for you guys in there.
I may have to jump off early, so that's why I was asking.
Yep, same thing for you, Melton. We did record yesterday, so I know you sent in a message. So yes, we got through. We honestly wrapped up most of the content right before you popped off. But if you guys have any questions about yesterday's content, we can go and pull up the slides again and go over it. But did you guys take any steps to thinking about how did we get the juices flowing as to how you believe you can start doing this business? I want to start flushing out some opportunities, and then we'll get into today's stuff.
Yep, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Melton.
Oh, this Harlan. Hey, I it was so interesting. How do you pronounce it? Is it Kiava?
Kiabi. Yeah.
Kiabi. I've seen the name everywhere since yesterday. It's just amazing. And so it's shown me that it's definitely out there, and the information's there and the opportunities are there. It's just a matter of trying to put it all together.
Yep, and hopefully today we'll be able to put some more pieces together so that you can really start to get enthusiastic about it. Again, as a reminder, success loves speed. So Melton, this is really the only thing that you missed yesterday was uh we can go over all the information yesterday. We can talk about how to design your business, how to do marketing, how to find clients, how to work with the lenders, how to process the deals. And we can get enthusiastic and want to do that all on this call. And we can start thinking, oh, wow, what happens when I start closing deals? That's going to be a great way to add into my business.
Mhm.
But nothing happens if nothing happens.
Right, right.
So you got to be able to take the next steps and you got to figure out, okay, am I going to be the one to am I going to design my marketing to be going on TikTok or Facebook and making videos and making content, or am I going to do the paid ad route? Am I going to work with a marketing consulting company? Am I going to get an AI agent that's going to say a script for me? All of these things have a different way of generating leads. And for the first part of today, we're going to talk about marketing. And then the next part that we'll get into is the sales piece. We talked about it a little bit yesterday about where we want to be as far as the positioning in the sales call.
Okay.
And then towards the end of this, we're going to talk about threading the needle and, really making this a business that you can launch forward into today. All
Awesome.
right. So before we get started, does anyone have any questions about yesterday that you guys were brewing about?
Ms. Harlan. Hey, I had one question. The would you be able to send that link again because I had lost it? Um,
For the uh, exclusive lender guide?
I think that's the one you sent, or yeah, because you had put it in the chat, but the chat closed and I didn't grab it.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's also in the school group. Did you guys all get access to the school group?
Is that what you put in there as well? The
Yes.
access to
So
the school group? Maybe that's what you put in.
okay, well, I'll here we go. So this link right here in the chat, this is to the school group. I'm logged in right now. So if you guys have a school account already, you can request to join the group and I'll approve you. And then I'll also, here we go. I'll just show you what we got. Okay. So this is the school group that we got. Currently we're at 64 members of all like-minded individuals that are interested in learning more about hard money and DSCR loans. They came from the webinars that we did, the master classes. They also came from TikTok. You guys, when you join the school, you'll get access to the Burr Hard Money and DSCR Loan Basics course. In here is everything from hard money, how to talk about it. You can use my phrasing word for word and how I explain all of these when you go and talk to potential clients. It's going to help you have a good foundation for hard money. We also go into DSCR down here. So everything that we covered in the webinar and everything that we covered yesterday will be in here, like the pros and cons, what the lenders look for, the deal analysis. This is all going to be inside of this, and I'll unlock the course when you guys request to join. Here we go. So we got Harlan, approve, Milton, approve, members. All right, and courses. All right, so that's unlocked for you now, Milton. And same thing for you,
Thank you, sir.
Harlan. All right, there we go.
Thanks.
Awesome. So I'm gonna upload day one and day two into this group as well, and it'll be locked for everybody else, but for you guys, it'll be unlocked, and I'll put that in there. Just shoot me a holler if it's locked for you. Um, I may not have seen your name in the school group just yet. And just as a reminder, get in the school group if you haven't already. Ed, did you get the link for the school group? I know you were looking for that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I didn't have a chance to go on it yet, but I did receive it.
Okay, cool. So here is where the exclusive lender guide is pinned. And then also there's a video accompanying it to show you how to use it. Should be in here as well. Okay, so you can download the video on how to use it there.
Here I'm looking for any link you sent me. I don't see anything on my email and I don't see anything in my texts.
It's in the chat here.
Okay, so I'm looking online right now. I'm hang on a second, on Facebook. Oh, it's in the chat on this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on my handheld. Oh, there it is. Okay.
All
Okay.
right, so let me know. Let me know if you haven't gotten in there, and I'll get you approved. But this is this is the Hard Money Gary's exclusive lender guide. So here's Kiavi. What you guys will want to do is you'll want to open this up. Can you guys see my screen with Kiavi here?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool. So you'll want to go to Kiavi and you'll go to partner programs and partners. You'll go to the brokers tab here. and you'll click join now. And then you'll follow the steps. They'll ask you for some business entity documents, your driver's license, and a couple other items to approve you into the program. They're not fast at getting back to you for this, but once you're approved, then you're in the system. At the end of the call today, we'll talk about fast tracking this and making sure that you guys can start doing your first deals relatively soon.
It's a
Okay.
hard money university. Is that what it is? I'm looking online. I just typed in that school.com/hardmoney Gary. And it's showing a couple different things. SKOOLBRR loan basics, hard money university.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. The Burr
Okay.
Loan Basics.
Okay. Okay. So I see private group, 66
Yep.
members. Join that group right there. Is that what you're talking about?
That's right. And when you join, I'll approve you right now and get you in here.
Okay.
So same thing for Easy Street Capital. You'll want to go on to their website, and then they have a brokers tab right here at the top. They have two programs for their broker program. I would recommend starting out with just their traditional broker program before jumping in as a signature broker. The signature broker is the third party originator. You can control a lot more of the pricing. You can make a little bit more money. They don't do as much on their end. So you have to go and order title. You got to go and order insurance. With the broker, with just the standard broker program, they will order title and they may order insurance if you give them the contacts ahead of time. So, but again, at the end of the call today, we'll talk about how you can streamline all this process, and we'll talk about some extended opportunities that we have for today. But just making sure that everybody got access to this and the lender guide. Here we go, David. Very nice. And David, here we're going to unlock the course here for you. Awesome. Okay.
And those tabs, Gary, for the two companies, Easy Street and the Kiava, where did you find those at? Under which tab?
So I clicked on the link, and then right here at the top is brokers. Do you see that where my cursor
Yeah,
is?
but yeah, I was just trying to right before that, before you got to brokers, where did you go before you got
So,
there?
so on the hard money lender guide, then you can click on the link because it's hyperlinked in the document, and
Oh,
then
I
it'll
got you.
go here, and then right up at the top is the brokers.
I got you. All
Sweet.
right, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And then the last one is RCN Capital. So the reason why I linked these three lenders is because all three lenders do hard money and DSCR. They have their different strengths, and they each have their own different processes. And I outlined at least their hard money processes and which ones you'd want to work with for each one of these in different scenarios. And I included their templates, which are all on my drive that I shared with you. And you can grab those quickly and put them with your clients should you want to move forward with either one of these lenders. Okay. So for RCN Capital, their partners link is right here at the top. And then you'll want to be in their broker referral program first. And then after you do a couple of deals, then you'll want to be in the correspondent lending. The correspondent lending is their third party originator. You get to control a lot more of the process. You can make a little bit more money, but with that control comes a lot of responsibility. And until you've done a lot of deals, I would say just be in the regular broker program. Okay. So I wanted to start off today and talk about marketing for clients. Okay. Yesterday, we went over the different people that we're working with, and that's business owners and real estate investors. We can work with people that are novices or newbies or new to real estate in general, because all three of these lenders that I gave you They all work with newbies in some capacity. Okay. But to start out, if we can identify people that are already doing deals and buying and fix and flipping, or they're fixing to rent, then it's going to be a lot easier for us to get them qualified for financing. That being said, you being a newbie and at doing what you do, it sometimes works that the law of attraction will bring you other newbies just because you're both kind of speaking the same language and you're conveying the same certainty within your sales conversation. So let's talk about marketing. Yesterday, I went through an exercise where you can do this shoestring budget by going into Facebook groups, seeing for looking for recommending posts like, hey, I'm looking for a DSCR lender. Hey, I'm looking for a hard money lender. I'm looking for someone to fund my project. Need a lender on this deal. People post in those groups all the time. You can find groups with as little as 2,000 people in it or as many as 200,000 people in it. I believe that my sweet spot when I'm doing this marketing method is groups where there are around 2 to 15,000 in a certain geography. So if it says, like I pulled up PA off market because I'm one of the mods in that group, and that one has 38,000. 38,000 is a lot. There's a lot of lenders in there too. So you have to be able to make yourself stand out. What we don't do is we don't spam post. We're not going to go into a Facebook group and put a blog post that says 100% funding, 90% loan to purchase, rates as low as this. We don't want that. One, you'll get kicked out of the group. Two, you're inviting the wrong kind of attention. Even if someone was open to that, you're inviting the wrong kind of attention. When we are marketing for real estate investors, we have to identify who a real estate investor is and want to connect with them. If our approach is going to be through social media or cold, then a real estate investor is savvy, price shopping, and a little bit of a dick. That's just after speaking with thousands over the last close to 10 years. I can confidently say that is the archetype of a real estate investor. They know it all. They, by nature, have to negotiate with you, and they've been through some shit and are going to try and test you to make sure that you are not a bullshit artist. That's just the name of the game. So, if we're going to approach somebody cold, then the best way to do it is the way that you would want somebody to approach you cold and not as a spam. So, the first things first is you have to, I'm going to show you my Facebook profile. And I suggest that if you guys want to take this business seriously, that you do this type of thing and you make it, you got to live the gimmick. All right. You got to own it and live the gimmick. Okay. So here's my Facebook. If I'm doing something and I'm reaching out in the Facebook groups, then if I'm going to send a message, I want what people will naturally do is go to your profile. Okay. So now they go to my profile, they see my company logo, they see what I do, fix and flip bridge, buy and hold. All right. They're like, all right, this dude's a lender. Okay, cool. So let's go into one of these groups and I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about. Those are, let's go to my groups. See, I'm in hundreds of groups. You can't just get away with being in one. You're going to have to commit and get into a lot of these groups. Here's Pittsburgh Real Estate Investors. This one has 23,000 people in it. You can go over to the search bar and then you type in, let's do DSCR. So can anyone do DSCR loan for 5 units or more? It's almost like I planned this to happen. Okay. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go in there. You're going to type in DSCR. Can anyone do can anyone do a DSCR loan for 5 units or more? You're going to look at the comments. You're going to see exactly what we don't do. We're not going to just, hey, let's put our business card out there. Look at all this shit. Da, 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 da. Okay, fine. You definitely don't put your phone number out there because now everybody's going to call you and you're not going to know why they're calling you. You're going
Was that Joe Scarice I saw? The Landmark?
yeah. So, I mean, and this guy, Nicholas, whatever, he did the same thing. So here's my approach. I don't care that this is from December 30th. I know that was a month ago because guess what? We're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to go to Dennis. I'm going to shoot him a message. I'm going to say, hey, Dennis, saw your post from a while back in the Pittsburgh group looking for a 5+ unit DSCR lender. How'd that work for you? Dennis may respond while we're here doing our boot camp. That'd be ideal. But the psychology of this message is I saw your message. This is what I saw your post. This is what it was about. How'd that work for you? Absolutely. I can guarantee you that none of the Michael Stewart, the Steve Moskowitz, the Joe Scarice, the Brandon, none of these people have followed up with this person once they posted their comment. None of them. That's where you are going to have a distinct advantage. It's a cold approach, but you're opening the door. You aren't trying to get a deal right now. You're trying to have a conversation because this game is about relationships. All right. So that was just one. Let's see what the next thing is here. Looking into
So
investment
Gary,
properties. Yes.
is it okay to talk while you're still working?
This is your boot camp, bro.
Yeah. So hey, what I was curious of is, so as you're going along, let's say you saw this 2 weeks ago, and as you're just kind of cruising through the different sites, and you saw and you sent that message, and that's kind of just what you're doing on the regular.
That's what you have to do. You got to block off a certain amount of time in your schedule, and you're gonna put on there. I mean, guys, take notes. If you want to do this strategy, this is exactly what you have to do. You're gonna take time on your schedule, and you're gonna say, "I'm gonna join 5 groups today." Then, because you joined 5 groups the day before, you're going to send 20 messages based off of posts that you found in those 5 groups. They can be new, they can be brand new, or they can be old. It doesn't matter. You're trying to create a relationship. If you haven't built out your Facebook to say that you're a lender on your cover page or what have you, then you can just approach it from the fact that, especially the message script that I just did, where it's, hey, Dennis, saw your post from a while back in the Pittsburgh group looking for a 5+ unit DSCR lender. How'd that work for you? That can go in the direction of, who did you work with? What was that like?
Hey,
So
Garrett.
it gives you traction.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gary, would you suggest a separate business page for this? Or
I mean,
keep
you
it
can
per-
get to that point, but if we're shoestringing it, then you don't have to. You
I mean,
don't
that
have
doesn't
to.
cost any money. You can just create a
You
page.
can. You can. But some Facebook groups don't allow business pages to join.
I got you. I got you. All right.
So just gonna have to figure that out. All right, so we got
Mhm.
another one here. and it's going to say, it says from Derek Lubomsky, who has the best rates and fees on DSCR loans at the moment? Looking to get a refinance started on my most recent Burr project. DM me. Let's connect. Okay. So I said on the webinar, and I said yesterday, that this is not the way that you shop, because you're going to get 17 people all spamming you, and then you're going to get random people sending you messages, and you don't know if they're scammers and it's going to open you up to a lot of conversations you don't know. But what we're going to do is a little bit different. We're going to send a message. We're going to say that same thing. Hey, Derek, saw your post in the Pittsburgh group from a while back. How'd that work out for you? Remember, this is a cold DM, okay? It can go in their spam. It can go, it can go in their spam. It could go unseen. But what you don't do is you don't say, "Hi, I'm Harlan. I do DSCR loans. Wanted to see if I could uh, get you a loan on whatever project you're posting about." The reason why you don't do that is because the next message that comes from them about that is, "What's your rate?" We're already in a price conversation. If we're in a price conversation, you lost, because we're not, because in from this business, we are not competing on price. We're brokers. We are providing service. We are streamlining the process. We are now, don't get me wrong, we are competitive with our pricing. We're not going to be any higher, any lower than what they could find out there on the market, variable speaking. But what you don't want to do is have them punch you back and say, "Well, what's your price?" Because what's your price is the end of the conversation. Because from there on, they are asking the questions, and it's over. When you started off with how'd that work out for you, especially from something that happened, a few weeks ago, now they have an experience to share with you. As a newbie, this is exactly what you're looking for. What did it look like? Oh, it went okay, but the appraisal took a while. Wrote it down. Okay, appraisal took a while. They got me this rate, but title had issues. Oh, okay, title had issues. Okay, so now you're info gathering. You're starting to see how investors talk about their situation. After you guys go back and forth, then you say over the top, "Hey, I know this message was out of the blue, but I also work with investors funding their deals. We do X, Y, and Z. Let me know if I can be a second or third option for you." Remember, we're not trying to beat them over the head with this thing, because we're not trying to open up a price conversation. We're trying to start a relationship. This is a Facebook group. They can screenshot whatever you sent them, post it in the Facebook group, and be like, "Gary sent me this message. Look, this guy's a fucking spammer. Don't talk to him. He sent me a bunch of messages." And believe me, if I would have heard this speech 3 years ago, I would have saved myself a lot of headaches, because I did all of the things that I just said. I did send, my first message out there was, um, uh, "Hey, Harlan, my name's Gary. I fund real estate deals all across the country. Wanted to see if I could price something out for you." Like, literally inviting that conversation. Every single time it was, "Well, what's your rate? Oh, are, are you a broker or are you a direct lender?" Well, now I'm pinned against a wall. Like, now you're really getting to me. You want to be able to work with the people and develop a relationship. Okay. So let's see if we can find one more.
Have you found any connection with the people you send messages to that may reach back to your web page?
So it's all about the design of your how you're presenting your universe, right? So if you have your cover page and all of the posts on your profile are about real estate and you are going through and you're deliberate about being a loan broker, then yeah, people are going to go back to your webpage. Also, if you're like me and you're doing video content, that sells you. It does. So it's making people work with you before they work with you. All right. Here we go. I mean, if you type in the code words into the search box, different posts are going to come up, and they're all valid. This Tyler Orr guy, here's the message. I can show you. Let me see if I can blow this up. Can you guys see the lower right hand corner or no?
No.
I'll try and pull this up on the bigger. By the way, the reason why mine are color coded is I have a Chrome extension over top of my Messenger, which I pay like 300 and some odd dollars per year for, where I can send out other stuff. So that was Tyler Orr. Okay.
You do email marketing, Kara?
A little bit, not as much as I should. Okay. So here's one from 9/25/23. Hey Gary, saw your name for hard money loan. Are you still lending 35,000? Hey Tyler, my minimum loan is 100K. All right. So after you do this for a while, your name's going to get tagged and stuff, especially if you have good conversations and you share with people good information about what you're doing, then people are going to reach out to you. But I just saw an old post and here we go.
Mondays.
This was I know I just talked to this guy like a little bit ago. Okay. So you're going to get tagged. So I wanted to see if I could pull up a good conversation there. See if there's other ones that I can pull up.
Gary, was it 35 from before at a lower level for you or something?
I mean, he was asking for $35,000 loans, and you and everyone else on this call, we don't do loans under 100,000.
Oh, so
It doesn't
everything's 100
it
flat.
doesn't make sense for us to do it because if we're a broker and we want to make money, then it's the same amount of work to do a $100,000 loan as it is a million. So we're going to try and focus on opportunities that are a little bit more so that, you know, because there are those opportunities out there. There's a ton of opportunities that are in the lower area, but what I have found is that the people that are fighting for these 35, 45, 65, $75,000 price points, it's not really worth the headache. A lot of times the smaller deals are a lot harder to close. There's a more as you start to level up on the price range, the people that you start to work with are a little bit easier to work with because they're a little bit more savvy. They they're more sophisticated.
Yeah, would
That's
those people seeking under 50,000 be a good prospect for NB Capital? You know, we're both affiliates with NB. What do you think?
we're gonna talk more about that, Ed.
Okay, good.
We're gonna talk more about that at the end here. Okay.
I'm reading your mind here, man. I'm reading your mind.
Yeah, so we'll be doing the Burr we'll be doing the Burr webinar uh later on in February where we're going to show how and what Ed's talking about is business funding. And so business funding is unsecured lines of credit, business capital, it's different things it is bank lines of credit and credit cards. What I coach my clients on is, you know, if we're approaching business owners, we can offer them the business funding up front, and then they can use that capital to invest in marketing. They can use that capital to invest in their rehab project or their rent or their down payment, closing cost, points, fees, etc. If we're looking at the BRRRR process, the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, we're using the hard money loan up front. Okay. The hard money loan is going to require some sort of a down payment. So if we get them business funding up front, they can use the business funding in conjunction with the hard money loan. And then now they have liquid capital in order to close on the deal, start the rehab, and then take the draws. All right. So we talked a little bit about that one phase of marketing. The other phase of marketing is paid ads. I don't run paid ads for the hard money loan businesses because I decided to go into this on a shoestring budget and develop a relationship network. And now I get referrals and deals sent to me in my sleep. I don't, there's not a day that goes by that I don't have somebody reaching out to me looking for money because of the time investment that I took in building out the personal network through Facebook, as well as going out to in-person meetups. The same the same rule applies when you're in the in-person meetups. Okay. I want you guys to start uh thinking about yourself as a lender. Okay. You have to commit and live the gimmick. So when you go out to a real estate meetup, and you can find them on meetup.com, you can see yesterday Harlan asked about how do we find the in-person meetups. You can legitimately go to the same Facebook groups that you're joining and say, "Hey, are there any in-person meetups going on this week, this month, in a couple of weeks?" and figure out where they're happening. Because that is, if you guys are familiar with the Hamilton play, you know, I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. The room where it happens is not the closing table. Okay. The room where it happens is at the networking events. It's where you're shaking hands, you're grabbing business cards, you're getting yourself over. I use a lot of wrestling terminology, but you're you're cutting your promo and you're getting yourself over. The way that you do that at the in-person meetups is you say, "Hey, Harlan, um, what types of deals are you doing?" "Oh, I'm a wholesaler," or I'm a fix and flipper," or "I'm such and such." You got to ask them a couple questions, figure out, what kind of level they're at. You guys see if they need funding. You ask them, "Hey, how are you funding your deals?" Don't say anything about what you do just yet. Let them tell you what they do, and then you say, "Oh, that's cool. By the way, I fund fix and flips, rentals, and small multifamily, occasional new construction. Happy to be a second or third option for you." "Oh, that's cool. Oh, how long you been doing it?" Or, if they in person say, "What's your rate?" Just laugh. Just laugh. Because you have to brush it off, and you have to be understanding, be like, "Hey man, the rates are the rates. I'm a broker. I work with nationwide lenders, so I can provide capital all across the country. If you want me to price something out for you, happy to work with you. But really, I'm looking to work with people that are doing X, Y, and Z deals, 2 to 3 deals a year, and helping them improve on their processes or have a better experience as to what they've had before." You definitely you have to have a little bit of cockiness and arrogance. You're the lender. There's the new golden rule, and it's he who has the gold makes the rule. Okay? You're not going to answer any questions about pricing in person without seeing a deal, unless you want to talk vaguely. The hard money's going to be hard money rates. I mean, it is what it is. It's 10.5 to 13%, right? I try to be cost effective. My clients are seeing 2 to 3 points. All depends on the deal and how fast you want to close, but you get it. It's hard money, right? Oh, okay. Oh, what's DSCR looking right now? I mean, DSCR changes rates all the time. We got a weird lending environment with the Fed and everything, but you know, we're still closing deals and they all cash flow. I mean, we're not trying to get pinned into a rate conversation, whether online or in person, because we don't have enough data. We don't know what their situation. We didn't talk about their credit. I mean, that's a weird thing to talk about right up front. Like, I'd have to know your credit. I have to know what the deal looks like. Okay. So those are free and organic ways to do it. Facebook and uh, real estate meetups. Those are relatively low effort and you don't have to do a lot of like song and dance. The next thing is going to be social media. That is again free, but it's not free because you got to put in a lot of effort in creating your persona and delivering value. And so you have to be able to impart your knowledge. You got to be able to know who your avatar is, who you're talking to, and you got to be entertaining. I wasn't born entertaining, but 30,000 people on TikTok think I am. So you got to figure out how to aggressively talk about what you want to talk about and talk and highlight the things that you think people want to hear and get that over. That is social media. When it boils down to it, it's creating attention, it's being consistent, and it's engaging with your target audience. If you guys choose to work with me one-on-one or in our group, then I can help you develop what that looks like for you. Um, okay, so those are three free ways. The next way is with paid ads. You can work with a marketing agency. I can tell you from experience what that looks like. If you work with a marketing agency, it will most likely be a retainer fee just for them existing. Then it's going to be you paying for ads through Meta, which is Facebook or Instagram or Google. Um, and you're going to be responsible for the ad spend. You will get leads. Okay. You will get leads, but they can be qualified, unqualified, or anything run the gambit. Their job is to get you leads. They're going to come up with some creative. They might have static posts, which is just like block text or something flashy that is price oriented. Most paid ads are going to be price oriented or some hyper value oriented deliverable. The other way that they can go about it is through a lead magnet. A lead magnet is the exclusive lender guide for you guys. But a lead magnet is okay, download my matrix or get my guideline sheet, get my 3 steps to a burr. Like whatever you're going to come up with your own lead magnet, but those are things that have been pitched to me and they're one way or another. It, the other side of running ads is that how are you going to field all of that attention? Because their job is to run ads. They will produce results. There are real estate investors that are looking for money for their deals. How are you going to field that attention? Are you going to take all the calls? Do you want to be available for all those calls? Leads are going to come in at midnight. Leads are going to come in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The game for leads is speed to lead. So as soon as something comes in, you got to be on top of it because they already forgot that they filled out that form. So are you going to have a CRM, a contact relationship manager that has integrations in it that's going to send out an email or a text message? Hey, thanks for filling out our form. Want to ask you a few questions? Are you going to have a chat bot? You're going to train an AI to do it? Those are the things that you have to think of when you're working on the ad spend. That's more of if you've built a sophisticated business, then it's probably more applicable. And then you'll quickly grow your content base or your contacts base that you can then do email marketing to. And that's really the game. It's maybe not necessarily how many deals can you get in the first 3 months that you're running ads. It's how many contacts can you get in the first 3 months that you can market to for the next 12 months. And then you'll see, okay, we ran ads for 3 months. We marketed to them for an additional 12 months. In that time frame, we had XYZ deals. That was the performance. I don't really like the business that way. I think that there's other businesses that are better run for those ad conversions. I think for this specific product and our specific role as brokers, we want to be a consultant, concierge, and relationship person versus the volume. I can tell you, volume's going to come and go. You can spend money on ads and generate a lot of volume. You can create a lot of headaches. And you can get sloppy if you don't know what you're doing. So that's marketing. We got into a little bit of the sales conversation, but the sales conversation is about qualification and early. The sales conversation will open with um, whether if you got a lead that came in, you want to call out and control that conversation and say, because by the way, the person that makes the call is in control of the call, not the person that receives it. If you receive the call, then you know you may be caught off guard, and it's better to call somebody back than for them to call you, because you may not be right at your computer ready to deliver terms right then. You want to be in control of the conversation, be able to ask what you need to ask, check the boxes that you need to, and then um, be able to deliver if it is right to deliver terms at that point. Okay. First things first, for DSCR loans, what we want to identify is, are you um, hey David, I got your contact information. Looks like you're trying to buy a rental property. Want to ask you a few questions and see if we can work together and I may be able to fund your deal. Great. Well, hi, my name's David. I'm a real estate investor. I have this deal in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and it's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Um, I wanted to understand what your points and fees and what the rates are. Great. Can you tell me a little bit about the deal? I know it's in Bethlehem. Is the property occupied? You want to, okay, it's leased out. Great. Now, if we want to, is it vacant or leased? Check that box. Next, we want to find out, okay, what are you buying it for? Great. Now we know that's a leased property and you're buying it. Now we want to pivot and then learn a little bit more about the investor. Great. Sounds like it qualifies for the DSCR. You're looking to buy this as an investment property. It's rented right now. Tell me a little bit about your experience. Is this the first one you're buying, or is this just another one to add to your portfolio? Then they start to you just let them talk, ask them open-ended questions, how, what, and when questions to try and peel back as to what their experience looks like. Then you want to hit as early as possible in the conversation. What's your credit and how much cash do you have? You don't want to be in any longer than 5 to 7 minutes without hitting them with what's your credit and how much cash do you have? Because as we talked about yesterday, some of the most important things for a DSCR loan, especially for a purchase, is going to be credit and cash. Everything else can kind of take care of itself if they got good enough credit and a good amount of cash. Their experience doesn't matter so much with the DSCR product as long as they have a business. Okay, I kind of just downloaded a whole lot. Happy to answer any questions about marketing and sales. Nothing? Okay, let's keep it rolling. I got to get some water.
I did. I had a question about the marketing. Um, do you, if you find other markets, you can just expand as much as you can. There's no limit to a certain group. I understand you gave bullet point ones to go on, but do you get a lot of word of mouth? Like, hey, Gary, I talked to him before and he was real helpful. Do you find yourself finding that as an option to get new clients?
All the time. I mean, word of mouth is the best. Word of
Okay.
mouth and referrals is the best. But definitely give yourself at least 12 weeks of consistent effort messaging so that you are at consistent messaging and adding and being methodical in who you're adding and following up and figuring out if they're a good fit for your personality type before expecting any results from any one channel of marketing. There's ways to expedite that with adding in a virtual assistant or doing paid ads or boosting posts and things like that. But if we're doing it for free, commit to doing something for at least 12 weeks so that you can identify what has worked and what's not. And if you guys want to work within the group and work with me one-on-one, then um, we'll be able to make you that will help you cultivate exactly how your marketing strategy will look and try and speed up the business for you, really launch it off.
Can I add one thing there, Gar?
Yeah.
Networking is probably right up there top with what
Oh,
for
yeah.
generate leads. So, and in Philadelphia, it's everybody knows everybody, investors. So once you start
Absolutely.
going out to these meetups, you're going to be seeing the same people over and over again. So
Mhm.
you get to talk to them, you get to know them, they know you, they see you a couple times, they say, I remember you. You can't just be a one and done. You know, you
For
have to be,
sure.
you have to be consistent with that also.
So, I mean, Ed's never seen me at one of the meetups that we've been at, but we know people that are at every single one, and where we know people that know the same people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Ed, you see me on TikTok. Like, I'm not going
Oh,
out to I'm not going out to
yeah.
Knoxville, Tennessee, but
Right.
I'm doing deals out there. I'm not, I'm
And
not going out to
and
Pittsburgh, but enough people know me out there to do,
yeah,
5 to 6 deals a year there.
and you have to remember, your reputation is everything, and bad reputations spread very fast, at least in the Philadelphia market.
Yeah.
So you
So
go
so
around
that's
trying
definitely
to
something
jack
that
people.
you have to keep that top of mind every
Hmm.
interaction, especially
Right.
in the digital space. Every interaction is a screenshot. Okay.
Yeah.
So just protect yourself whenever you're engaging with somebody. If it's getting nasty, if someone's, you know, when I would do the old approach when it was more spammy, then a lot of like real estate investors would try and give me a hard time. Oh, you're a broker? Oh, that means it's not your money? Like, sorry, I only work with these. And really trying to get you to get you to react. Don't waste your time with them. Just move on to the next one. Um,
What do they care if you're a direct lender or not? As long as they get their money, right? I don't get that.
because we are a broker where they believe that just like a wholesaler, that they should be able to get the deepest discount that they possibly can on every single thing that they ever buy. And
That's
that
right.
anyone that's in the middle is a fee that they can eliminate.
Investors are cheap. I forgot.
That's that is the nature of the business. So if the real goal is to cultivate that client, and Ed, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes here. The goal is to cultivate the client so that you can either bring them into your universe and be the one-stop solution for their real estate funding goals. And that's why we do hard money. That's why we do DSCR, so that we can do the BRRRR strategy. Because every client that we work with is an opportunity to do two deals with them on the purchase and the refinance. We can focus solely on the hard money. We can focus solely on the DSCR. But if we focus on developing a client, then, and what Ed will attest to is that when a real estate investor, while cheap, while aggressive, while a bit of a prick attitude, they're fucking loyal. So
Yeah, they're
if they find something that works, then they're not going to deviate from it unless you do something so egregious like blow up a deal.
yeah.
And then you have to admit, hey, if that was on me, I understand. I get you.
I wouldn't I shouldn't categorize them as cheap. I just like it's the bottom line is what they're always after. Like even if when they're talking with contractors, anybody they have to deal with, they just want to get the best bottom line for themselves. Yep,
Um, Yeah, so I'll give you an example. I was working with a wholesaler on a deal last year. Actually, it was in 2023. and the wholesaler came to me with a deal and said, "Hey, do you have any buyers for this?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I got a buyer for it." I had connected with somebody through Facebook. They were a somewhat experienced fix and flipper, and they were looking for a deal in the same market that this guy had his deal in. It was up in Ambler. Okay. So not like a cheap area to be wholesaling. Definitely some good money to be made uh went on the spread. So
Yeah.
I found this guy a buyer. Uh he didn't yet play he didn't since he didn't have a buyer yet, he didn't yet put the deal with a title company. He said, "I've been working with these folks. Do you have a title company that you would recommend?" I'd closed with a few title companies. So I hooked him up with a title company that I'd closed with and had met through another networking event. And, they said, "Hey, if you treat us right, we'll treat you right," and referral program, etc. Okay. So now I've uh, gotten this wholesaler, a buyer and a title company for his deal. He's going to make 30 grand on the wholesale fee. My fee was, I was going to make 1 point. This is a $300,000 deal. I'm going to make 3 grand. Okay. You know, it's nice, but the point of me saying this is the goal for the wholesaler was to figure out which lender I was working with. And then when he wanted to go work with other buyers, now he has a title company and now he has a lender and he doesn't need me anymore, even though I put him on to the other stuff. So there are personality types that you have to be able to work with that at least on one. I mean, we all got paid. No hard feelings. Business is business. I just know that I won't be working with that wholesaler again. You know?
Yeah.
So
He backdoored you.
I mean, it's not like a back door. It's more like he wants to be the one that knows all of
Yeah.
it and be the source of it so that no one else can make money but him as the
Agreed.
wholesaler
Yeah.
or as the real estate investor so that he can be the one to make the introduction. He can do all this. Even if like there's got to be a law of reciprocity in this business because that's what's going to be able to help you elevate referrals. If you're the only one that makes money on a deal, then the word's going to get around about that too.
Right.
Okay. I lost track of where we were at before that. Okay, developing a client. So if we can work towards developing a client where uh we're not necessarily chasing a a deal every time where, oh man, we got to go get a DSCR deal this month. We got to go get a hard money lender this month, a hard money deal this month. We have to focus on developing a client and be able to be the one-stop shop for everything that they need so that we can look at a stable of 10 to 12 clients that are buying 3 to 4 rental properties a year. 12 times 3 is 36. That's 36 rental properties. If you're doing the hard money in the DSCR on all of 36 of those, that is 72 deals. 72 deals at 3 grand a piece. That's close to $210,000 a year. Okay. So it's about developing the client, helping them achieve their goals, and then being the resource and the facilitator of all of that. That's if all of the magic happens and the calculator games work out. But that's the goal. Any questions about the math on that? Okay. So we
I
did
don't. I was just gonna say I don't know if you if I missed it or if you're going to cover it. I understand. You've been doing this a minute, so the time commitment for you is probably a lot shorter. How many hours a day do you see in this?
so I have a
Just
processor. I know how many hours in a day. I live and breathe. I am hard money, Gary. I am him. So if someone calls me at 10 o'clock at night, I might answer it, and you know, they're gonna get hard money Gary at 10 o'clock at night.
Gotcha.
But I do have two kids. I got a wife. I try and have family time from 5 to 8 o'clock at night. Try to block that off where I'm not answering emails. I'm not really going back and forth, and you know, but I could tell you in survival mode when I was first learning this business without anyone helping me out, I was figuring out everything on my own. It was 24 hours.
Mm.
It was let me figure out this piece. Let me review this course again. Let me see if this tool works. Let me send these messages out. But if you're deliberate in your marketing strategy, like I was saying, you're going to go and in weeks 1 through 4, you're going to say, all right, I'm going to go and do 5 groups per day. I'm going to go and add 20 people per day and send them 20 messages based off of either the backlog strategy or an advanced strategy because you see that you have connections already and you go through my formula that I'll explain with the peoples that work with me in our group or on one-on-one um, on how exactly to do that in detail. Okay, so we talked about different ways to market. We talked a little bit about the sales strategy. Um, Now let's go into the back end and hit some X's and O's. Okay? Because I think you guys want to see, all right, well, what does this look like? Like what are we doing here once we're all on board? I showed the calculator for Kiavi yesterday. But this is the calculator on the TPO side for RCM, but it looks very similar for the brokers. Okay. So this is the calculator. When you are looking at a deal, the way that they set it up is drop downs and with all of their options. So if we're looking at a single family rental, then we're going to go and hit the long-term rental button. Then we're going to decide whether it's a purchase or a refinance. So we'll do a purchase. And if it's a single family property, then we'll take a look and hit that there. Here, we're going to hit all the pertinence. These are the questions that this is why you have to ask credit score, cash available up front, because this is the information that you need to know. All right, credit score 720. You guys have a deal that you guys are looking at right now, or any properties that you have on top of your head, zip code wise?
I do.
Okay, let's do 19475. That's Spring City where I'm at. $300,000 property. All right, now let's do it some different. 500,000, 500,000. Here we add in what the property will appraise for and what the purchase price is. This is the amortization schedule. So we have adjustable rate mortgages, but for the purposes of this discussion, we're going to just hit the FRM, which is a 30-year standard amortization. Prepayment penalties. We went into it a little bit yesterday, but a prepayment penalty, this is a toggle, and RCN specifically, with 36 months or more on the prepayment penalty, they do not charge an origination point or a buy down point. Okay. A prepayment penalty is if the borrower is going to refinance or sell the property within 36 months, they'd have to pay an additional piece of the principal based off of the step down 3%, 2%, 1%. All right, so it's a single family rental, it's leased out, and let's just say the lease is going to be 3,500 a month. And market rent is 3,500 a month for a $500,000 property in Spring City, Pennsylvania. Property insurance is going to be 1,600. Taxes are going to be $6,000. Okay. I'm just plugging these in here. I'm hoping that it cash flows, but I'm pretty confident that it will. Okay. So they can buy down to a 25% or they can buy down to an 80%. Let's increase these numbers here. Let's get this to 4,000. Okay. So if with a $4,000 rent, it cash flows at a 1.1 DSCR, that's a 0 point buy down. So this is what you call a par interest rate. Par interest rate. So if you're on a golf course and the par is it's a par five, that means that if you go above the par, then you are, that's not a good deal. If you're below par, then great. Okay. So 80% loan to value, 80% loan to cost. Remember, we did the letter salad. So 80% of the purchase price, 80% of the cost, because it appraised at 500,000. The principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is what their total payment will look like. Okay. And this is what they would have set aside as a part of this total payment just in escrows. So this will cash flow their gross rent, $48,000 a year, over their fixed expenses, the 7,600 a year at a 1.1 DSCR. Okay. Next, we hit select, and then we enter in where you guys will be at if you sign up with their broker program. They'll have their broker origination points. You'll put that on there. If you put in one as a 1% for a broker fee, now you'll see that the origination fee to you is going to be 4,000. Okay. You guys tracking so far? Do I need to go slower?
No, good.
All right, cool. Next thing you'll do when you want to send this out to the client is you'll hit download term sheet. Let me know if you can see my screen still. See the term sheet?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So they're going to want you to break down this term sheet and we'll say, oh, what's this mean? What's that mean? But what you need to be highlighting is the monthly payment versus their rent. So if they're renting it out for $4,000 a month, they're going to be making, 360 bucks per month in cash flow. And the interest rate, 8.225%. What they will need to bring to cash to close, 112,000. And what we will need to see across their liquidity, 148,000 or 149,000. So those are what you want to bang with them. Make sure that they can see and identify. Let's toggle this a little more because we have to understand the tiers for credit. We put 720 in here, but what happens if they're a 760? Someone with really high credit. That 8.225% just went down to 8.025%. Remember yesterday when we were talking about how credit really will impact your DSCR? Well, it'll
Yes.
impact your DSCR, it'll impact your payment, which will get you better cash flow. Same thing here. If we went down to a 700 in the other direction, now we got to buy down to get to the 20%, which it's negligible now because you're either going to bring 2% more as a down payment or you're going to pay 1% plus now you're going to be at 21% to get 80. It doesn't really make all that much sense. Now what happens if you're at 680? Now you're locked. Your max LTV is now 75%, and you still got to buy down to get there. What happens if you're at a 660? Now you're at 70%. So you got to bring a lot more cash. So credit is extremely important when we're talking about the DSCR loans. Yes, you can qualify with no tax returns. Yes, you can qualify with no personal income verification. You are going to be qualified based off of your credit and your cash. All right, guys. So that's the X's and O's for RCN. We did a little bit of it with the X's and O's with Kiavi yesterday. Do you think you guys got some value out of the 2-day boot camp?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Do you think you guys
Definitely.
got enough to maybe feel like you could get started in this business, whether you know wanted to go organic marketing or networking?
I mean, I think we could start out with, Facebook ads and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty uh simple,
Okay.
just to get started and see where that goes, and if it's not working, you try something else.
Okay. What would happen if you had somebody that's been through it and would be willing to guide you along the way to help you get started? Do you think that would help you or hurt you?
It would help
Always
immensely.
help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Help.
So
Do you
I
know
just
anybody?
I do. I do. All right, guys. So I kind of alluded to it, um, but here's what we're doing. You guys are on the boot camp, and I want to keep on rolling with this. So we're gonna open up the hard money DSCR and burn method launch pad. It's a 12-week program where we will work on group calls twice a month to hold you accountable to your specific marketing strategy. Make sure that you are set up working with the lenders and account executives that I'm working with. On top of that, for any leads that you bring in, myself and my team will process the deals and get them to the finish line with you. You will be able to charge what you want. We will only charge a small processing fee. Okay. My goal is that if you do want to invest in yourself and you do want to join the launch pad, then you earn your money back within the 12 weeks at minimum. We're going to lay out step by step on how you're going to market to go and talk to clients, hold you accountable to goals that you set for yourself. And we will make sure that we do our best to help you get at least one deal closed within the first 12 weeks. There's no guarantees. This is going to be based off of your results. I can't send the messages for you. I can't go to the networking events for you. I can't make the calls for you. I can't take the calls for you. But on the biweekly calls every other week, we will go over sales and marketing strategies. We can do deal reviews of anything that you're looking at. Well, I will open up my pipeline and show you what I'm working with, different challenges that I'm facing, because, you know, I can show you the magic and how everything works out perfectly. But as you start to do this business, there are things that come up. Okay. So I'm going to put this link here in the chat. And if you guys want to take the next step, you guys can start filling it out for yourselves. But I'll spare you the investigation. It's 2,500 for the 12-week program. And I just showed you that on one deal at a 1% origination, you can make 4 grand back. I showed you in the masterclass and yesterday, and I have one right here. I make around 2,500 per deal. So the goal here is for you and I to work together for 12 weeks as a group, or however many people want to get in on this opportunity. We're going to go over sales and marketing strategy. We'll get you set up with the lenders. We will make sure that you are in the best position possible to actually start this business and do this for yourself. And now, Ed, you talked about this before, but I'm gonna let you in on something. I was just down in Orlando this past week, and I am now a partner in a business funding company. And so when I talk about developing a client, what we're going to be able to do is if you find a newbie or someone that is short on the funds to close on the fix and flip side of it or the fixed to rent side of it, we're going to be able to get them that business capital to fill the gap so that they can have those liquid funds. And now you have built out the client for yourself that is looking to build and scale their rental portfolio. They'll be qualified. If they need credit repair, we have the resources to do so. We can help them get up to that 700 credit score that's needed to execute this strategy at a high level. We'll be able to get them the business funding so that they have the capital. We can source that in as little as 2 weeks if they already have the 700 credit and a qualified business. We can give them we will work alongside you to get them the hard money loan, to get them the money for the fix and flip. That's the purchase and the rehab money. And then once the project's up and running and rented out, you know exactly where to go to get them the DSCR loan to refinance.
So what kind of compensation is on the business capital? Do you at one point, or you know what I'm saying?
You're talking about like if you are
Or,
going to bring the clients in for the business capital on this
yeah,
side.
right.
Yeah, so I mean it'll depend on how much is funding.
Oh, of course.
I could tell you that it is a lucrative opportunity, and for the folks that want to get involved today, then we're going to go through the capital stacking process with you to help you get the funds that you need to set this business up for yourself. Ed can attest to that the qualified folks can get access to 25, 50, $75,000 in the first round, potentially all the way up to 150,000 in the first round of funding. This is where you could legitimately start your business with getting access to the business capital. Now you know the process and what it feels like. You can identify with the clients on
That's what
what
I
that
was
looks like.
thinking. First,
Exactly.
first step would be this, because everybody's looking for down payment money. Closing cost
Exactly.
money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the first step is getting inside of the launch pad. Then we're going to have a one-on-one call. We're going to talk about what your strengths are, how you view this business, how you feel like your specific angle is going to be so that you can attack this at the highest level. If you're qualified and you want to take that next step, we can get you on to the next step, which would be the business funding, so that you can go either towards the capital stacking, which is the credit card stacking, or depending on any other businesses that you have set up already, you might be eligible for a different line of credit. That'll help you get seed money to either go on the ad spend route, which you can do if you are sophisticated enough to build that system out for yourself, or it'll get you, it'll help you identify with what the rest of the process looks like so that you can go and do the fix and flipping yourself, have the down payment money, things like that. All right. So any questions about what it looks like on the inside or how we will be working the next 12 weeks if you wanted to work with us in the group coaching?
$2,500.
What's
Hmm.
that? It's 2,500. Yeah. So just if you have done any business at all, you understand that you have to be able to either put the work in to develop the systems for yourself, go through the trial and error, which
Have a
believe me,
coach.
or you're going to have a coach. It's going to be
Mhm.
one way or another.
Yeah.
With what we went over the last 2 days, I'm confident that I peeled back the curtain enough so that if you were paying attention and you could see the gears turning in yourself, that you can apply this today. Again, Harlan, I said this to you yesterday. You can take all this information and you can do nothing. Or you can make the
Mhm.
decision to invest in yourself, decide that this is something that you want to go headfirst into. Remember, success is attracted to speed. So if this is something that you really see yourself creating a six-figure income from it, or really if it's just a side hustle for you, if it's something that you want to add on top of your
Yeah, I'm
existing
on my
real
way
estate
down.
business.
I'm on my way down.
Yeah, you are, Nate. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now, and we can go back over some more with the DSCR stuff. We can go back over sales and marketing. Um, but I look forward to working with you guys one on one. Should you want to take the opportunity?
Hey, I had a question. So, oh, are you still going to be able just to run through things again? When I say run through things, like the class yesterday and today, are you going to still link those?
Yeah, those are going to be in the school. And since you
Okay,
guys joined the school, those are going to be unlocked for you.
okay. And then had
I'm coming.
how long before you I know you're trying to get things going. Do you have a target date that you're trying to start, or is it just a per person kind of thing, starting them up?
So what this is going to look like is we're right here at the end of January. Um, The first group coaching call will be the second week of February, so around the Valentine's Day period. But the first week from now until then, that's when we'll have the one-on-one calls. I'll give you some action steps on what you'll need to do prior to the coaching call. And then on that coaching call, it'll be you needing to, I'm going to ask you in front of the group, hey, Harlan, this is what we talked about on the one-on-one call. This is where you said that you were going to do. Because the biggest thing about this is accountability. Like I've done this and I'm guilty. Okay. I've spent money on courses. I've spent money on things and did nothing. Spent thousands of dollars, looked at the coursework and, decided, oh no. So this is more about accountability, especially since, listen, the reason why I'm doing it at 2,500 is because it's just enough that it's worth investing in, but it's not unachievable to get on your first check. There it is, 2740. So you're on your first check, you're going to be able to pay back at least get back your investment. And within 12 weeks, the goal is to develop a strategy for you that makes sense for how you want to approach this, whether it's going to be through Facebook or through paid ads or through networking or reaching out to your existing network now. I don't know exactly where all of you came from, but if you came from a world that was already exposed to real estate, I feel like that you did because you signed up for a DSCR masterclass, at least to start. I think some people that are doing deals. Maybe they're willing to give you a shot just to see how it works. Along the way, though, as soon as you do get an opportunity, we're processing it and hand holding going with you side by side so that you can get to the finish line with more confidence. We're not guaranteeing that it will close because we can't guarantee that. But if you give us an opportunity to review the deal and you want to take the next step, we're at least going to say, hey, you need to collect this document. This is what we've found when this situation came upon us. Here's what you're going to need when you're working with the lenders. Because I'm going to send you to one of the three lenders that I put on the exclusive lender guide. Okay. When you guys when I showed you where to sign up as a broker partner. Okay. If you want to go and do this yourself, you can go do it yourself. You're going to get assigned an account representative. You're going to have to learn the relationship with them. You're going to have to figure out their communication style. They may like you. They may be good at what they do. I know that my account executives, because I bring them volume, they're killers. They pick up the phone for me. They answer my texts. Their processors answer my emails. My processor looks at all my deals. He reviews the documents. He makes sure the borrowers return the documents that we're requesting. We already have the DocuSign template to be able to go and collect the documents for you. We already have the tools that you would otherwise need to pay for. So if you want to invest in the $30 a month for the DocuSign, you can do that. If you want to invest in the website, you can do that. If you want to uh, if you want to create the intake form, the lead intake form, you can do that. There's going to be time. We're going to go over in the 12-week process on how to do all of that stuff so that you can eventually be able to do this on your own. Because the goal here is not so that you pay me $2,500 a year. No, I want you to pay the $2,500. I want you to I want you to earn that back within the 12 weeks, hopefully. But the goal for me is to create a processing service. Because the biggest pain point for me when I got into this business is that no one, well, I like the sales and marketing end. I like going and chasing the clients. I like having the conversation. I'm a sales guy. This is what I like to do. I don't like the paperwork. I was forced to be good at it because I'm good at the other stuff. I'm good at bringing opportunities in. So I have to be good at at reviewing the paperwork and making sure it's right so that I get paid. Okay? Now, my goal is to develop a processing service so that the brokers that I help train have a resource where all they got to do is go and find the deals. And we're looking at reasonably priced processing. I mean, there are processing services out there that you can go and get. Some of them want you to have an NMLS license. I don't care.
You
Some of
can you can back charge the processing fee to the client though, right?
Absolutely. You
Yeah,
can put that right there on the HUD.
yeah. So the only thing we didn't touch on, Gary, is the payment plan for the 2,500.
There is
You
no
didn't
payment plan. There is no payment plan.
I got you.
So the reason why there's no payment plan is because when I've worked with people on a payment plan for similar coaching opportunities that I've done, it's one or two payments and then ghost.
Nothing. Yeah, I understand.
So it's something where it's got to sting a little bit because you got to know, you got to have that commitment. Like it's got to feel like you're going to want to do it. You have to have that butterfly in your stomach. Like, oh fuck, like, oh man, I
Are
really
you going to
want
be
this to
offering
work
this?
out.
Are you going to be offering this 12? Like, if we don't have the money right now, are you going to be offering it the same program later on, or this is just one deal?
So there's a 100% likelihood that I'm going to be doing this process again. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sounds.
I mean I'll peel back the curtain for you guys. The way that it's going to work is there's going to be a hard money masterclass, which is going to lead into a hard money boot camp, and that boot camp is going to lead into the group coaching. There's going to be a DSCR masterclass, then there's going to be a DSCR boot camp. Then the boot camp's going to lead into the group coaching. There's going to be a Burr masterclass, then there's going to be a Burr boot camp, and then that Burr is that's going to lead into the group coaching. I can't say that it's going to stay at 2,500 because as people start to come in, then we have to elevate the floor to make sure that we're getting the people that actually want to do this. And it's going to be a C. Maybe, you know what? Maybe 2,500 is too much for the people that are going through this process. And that's something that the pain that I might see. But I believe in it because I know for a fact that this is real. It's right here. I can show you the average the average fix and flip loan is going to be anywhere between 125 to $250,000 across the country. Okay? That's where they're buying something for 85, 90,000. They're putting 30 to $40,000 into it, trying to sell it for 200, or they're buying something for 140. They're putting another $50,000 into it, trying to sell it for 250. That loan amount is going to be that 125 to the 225 amount. Okay. If you're charging within competitive rate and terms on the hard money, that's 12% and 3 points with our lending partners that are going to be at a base point of 1. That means there's an opportunity for you to capture 2 points on the front end for your hard money. And keep in mind that I'm not telling you what to charge. You can charge whatever you want. I'm advising that the competitive point rate and point structure for hard money is 12% and 3 points. On a $125,000 loan, if you were to charge 2 points, then you're getting 2,500 right there. Same thing if you were doing a $150,000 loan you still could be competitive at 12 and 3 points with a 1 point base. Now you're going to be at 3,000. And that's just on the hard money side. Okay. You're developing a client. You are trying to find people that are fixing up to rent. After 90 days passes, you're following up with them. Hey, how's the project going? You looking for a tenant? Yeah, actually, I got this tenant ready to go for the refinance. When can I get started? Oh, well, we already got your paperwork. Let's just go through it. Make sure that everything looks good. Let's get started. After 90 days, another 30 days passes through the natural processing period for a DSCR loan. So that's 120 days from when they paid you initially. Now you get paid again. If you charge 1 point, because RCN is a 0 point DSCR lender base, Kiavi is a 0 point base for uh, DSCR loans. So is Easy Street. Well, Easy Street, if you work with me, then Easy Street Capital will be a 0 point origination because I'm a TPO partner with them. So these will just be your processing fees that you'll be charged for us to process the deal for you. If they got the property worth, 300,000, or it's worth 250,000, they get a loan for 180,000. You charge 1 point or 2 points. That's another 1,800 or 3,600 in your pocket. That's what I'm saying. The power of this business is that you're creating a client. The Burr method is what you're looking to create, where they're coming to you for the fix and flip financing and for the DSCR financing. That's how you're able to make money.
So Garrett, would you start with the 2 points and then use that as a negotiating tool? Like say, all right, I can do it for 1 point, 1.5. If
You
you
want to be
if you,
competitive. I'm always going
if
to
you
advise you to be competitive with what standards are.
right.
And you have to make sure, but if it's to the point where they won't work with you, if there's a point being charged, then
Uh,
yeah, I mean, make it so that it's worth everybody's while. But I
right.
definitely advise looking to the standard of a $3,000 origination fee for a DSCR loan is reasonable.
Mhm. And
Okay.
the investors expect that. It's something they expect.
It's if they've been around the block, then they get that. If they're a newbie, there might be some negotiating that needs to be done, or softening of the edges, and that's something that we go over and how to talk about these things. And you get my sales strategy and what my sales scripts are when we're doing the group coaching. So that's that's definitely something that you guys would be investing in, and especially with you guys being part of the pilot group. There's some things that I'm going to want to unlock for you guys so to get some success, because I want to build this processing business, but in order to build the processing business, I need testimonials. Okay, so here's just to recap everything that we're doing here. You're getting into the 12-week program. We're going to work on group coaching calls every other week. Initially, to start out, we're going to do a one-on-one call so that I can identify your strengths. We're going to develop a marketing plan for you and hold you accountable to what you're doing. Okay. On the group coaching calls, we are going to go over what worked for you, what didn't work for you. We'll go over exclusive marketing strategies that I use, like I showed you on Facebook, scripts, tools, things like that. We'll do deal reviews of my pipeline, your pipeline, what that looks like. Also, if you're qualified already, we can do a soft credit check, see if you're at that 700 credit score or higher. Then we can start you out with getting you business capital so that you can have some footing and be able to deploy that into your existing business, your real estate business, or in this one to really build out everything. Okay?
Sounds
Once
good.
once you guys are once we're going along in the process, you're going to see that deals are going to come to you, and we're going to need to figure out how to process them. That's where I'm going to hook you up with my team. Jose's my main guy. Me and Jose are going to be looped in on every communication that you have with the client. So are you. If you want us to take over, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. If you want to be in total control of it, you're going to be able to charge the client what you want. You just let us know what you want to charge. We're going to be charging our processing fee, which is I'm imagining that it's going to be around the $500 mark, something where it's reasonably priced, but it's not going to make or make the deal for you. And again, you can back charge that on the HUD to the client if you negotiate those points up front. Okay.
You can negotiate a partial, charge them $299 and you pay the rest, or right?
That's not going to work.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not going to work.
if
I
you
got you.
like, I'll pull it up here. So let's go with Kiavi on their calculator. Okay.
Yeah, because everything's going to be collected at the settlement. I understand.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you want to take that full fee, so if we were to price this out for you, you said, "Hey Gary, I want you to put this in there at 2.8% for me," then we put this in here at 500 as a broker admin fee. Okay. Then when we get to the term sheet, boom, boom, boom. You guys can see the term sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. So when that breaks down, it's going to show up as extra points on here. If it's through Kiavi on the RCN, it will show as an extra line item as an admin. So that's why I say if you negotiate the points up front and you say, yeah, it's going to be like 3.5 points for this loan, then you got that admin fee covered in there. All right.
Right.
Okay. So yes, that's it, guys. Who's ready to get started?
I'll be honest with you, Gary. I got a couple medical procedures coming up in February and March, so I don't know how they're going to go, but
Okay.
I probably want to start. That's why I asked you, are you going to have that boot camp later
Yeah,
on?
we're definitely going to be rolling it again.
Yeah. Okay. So,
All right.
yeah,
And
that's my
I was just
situation.
gonna say, I'm very interested. I just want to kind of go back through it to make sure I'm understanding everything and making sure it'll click for me.
Okay.
So that's why I was just checking with you on yesterday as well as today, and then I'll just run through it. And then your email, you had given it to us, I guess, in the master class, but I don't have that. Do you have that up in front, or what's the best way to reach you?
So, oh my gosh. So let's make sure we can do to everybody. All right. So that's my email right there. Gary at
All right.
GershamLoans.com. You can also get me at Gary at HardMoneyGary.com. Nate Melton, are we going to see you on the other side?
For me, honestly, probably not. But I do need to talk to you about some opportunities, though.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm probably more of a on the investor side, honestly,
All right.
where I could use your services to kind of help me close some of these deals.
Sounds good. Happy to work
Yep.
with you guys in any capacity. Since you guys let me go through my thing here, this was a tremendous experience for me. To be able to go through the boot camp with you guys, be able to share all the knowledge. It helps me be better at doing this. So I gained value out of this tremendously. So I want to thank you guys for attending. If you guys are all in the school group, just make sure you're getting in the school group. I'm going to upload yesterday and today. Look for that in the next couple of days here because it takes time to go through the cloud. But I'm going to make sure that those get uploaded into the school group and I'll unlock those for you. And that way you'll have access to them as long as you're in the school group.
That sounds
Sounds
good.
good. Sounds good.
Awesome, guys. have a great rest of your day and go out there and kill it.
All right, thanks. Take care.
And
You too.
take care,
Bye now.
guys.